Early morning summertime chicken chores. Well, to be precise, chicken and turkey chores. Now, I come out very early in the morning and I start cleaning, especially if I don't do a cleanup the night before. And I'm out here just cleaning up a bit, raking up all this mess that the flock made yesterday before I let them out of their indoor run. Now the meat birds are already set because I've already done my meat bird chores for the morning, and I already turned my compost, which I turn once per week. So now I'm going to clean this outdoor run up, and this all is going to be dumped on the compost pile and allowed to break down. Now here I have some high protein grain mix, and I am going to add some eggshells, which is a calcium substitute that I use for my flock. And I feed it to them when I feel the need to do so, especially if their eggshells might be thinning, especially if they're losing feathers. And the protein is going to help with their feather production, and the eggshells is just added calcium to strengthen their shells. Now, after cleaning up the outdoor run, I sometimes give them this high protein calcium mixed feed, and there's a little bit of diatomaceous also mixed in there. I'm also going to pull some of these grape leaves as an added treat of greens that they really do enjoy. Now, as you can see, they're getting a little bit antsy because they're ready to come out and grab those treats and be ready for the day in their outdoor run. So I'm just going to grab a few more of these grape leaves so they would have sufficient and they wouldn't be fighting for the same leaf. Well, they're probably going to do that anyways because that's their little comical nature that is so entertaining, and I like watching them doing that. So now I'm going to release the flock and give them access to the outdoor run where they can have their treats out here. And of course the turkeys are the bigger birds, so the chickens allow them to make the first move. They are dominant in the flock because of their size, and I have 7 of those turkeys. They are broad-breasted bronze, and they are for meat purposes. So now the chickens are coming out. This curious turkey is just here looking around, scoping out the scene, seeing what's new out here, how clean it is, and probably just simply making plans for making another mess again today. Now I'm just going to check their feed, making sure they have sufficient feed in their gravity-fed feeder. And it is right here. This was filled in last night. As you can see, the feed is in a trough where they can access it. And this is primarily just layer feed in there. And over here, hanging in these feeders, we have a high protein feed for the meat turkeys, even though both the layers and the turkeys feed from the layer feed and also the high protein feed. Now I got to refill that feeder, and as you can see, we have the water set up here. It's a gravity fed watering nipple setup, and as you can see, water is dripping from it, so I know that there's adequate water. Even the ground is wet when they're drinking. So the water is all set and the feed is all set for the day. We got the eggs coming already. I don't want to bother her for too long. Just let her be, let her lay her egg in peace. And while she's doing that, I'm just going to be observing the entire flock, looking for any potential hazards, looking for any signs of injuries because they can get wild sometimes in here. Paying attention to any signs of internal or external parasites, which I always do my maintenance, and I don't just wait for something to happen or see signs of anything going on. And I do that by adding certain things to their feed, whether it's pumpkin seeds or whether it's fruit cider vinegar in their water. Just simple preventative maintenance that I do on them. The meat birds are already good. I already cleaned out the area and they seem comfy in there. And now let me just show you, because with the meat birds, or I should specify the Cornish cross meat birds, they don't need a roost in here. All I do for them is make sure that their feed and water is on an elevation, the area is nice and clean, and as you can see, there is no roosting space in here. I have the heat lamp set up and extra lighting for them, and the heat lamp is there in case I may need it if the temperature drops to under a desired temp in here. And so they're set up here for success. They have adequate spacing, and I also spend time observing them, make sure none of them have an injury or is showing sign of any type of sickness or so. and then they're good for the day. And I do that every day just to make certain that they are and they remain healthy until that time of harvesting, which is 6 weeks to 12 weeks of age. I do have a mixed flock of 10 males and 30 females, and at some point we are going to hear some crowing going on in here, but by that time they start crowing, it'll be time for them to be harvested. And I got a few males this time because the males certainly grows bigger than the females. All right, so in here, as you can see, we have a roost for the turkeys. This is specifically for the turkeys because the laying hens already have their roost and their sleeping quarters are already established in the coop. This area here, we have raised meat birds in here before, but it's just extra vertical space that we can use. The door is right there in the corner. There's a second door, and if you notice, there's a roost also in here, and that's where we started off our meat turkeys, but they obviously outgrew the space, so we had to incorporate the entire flock. There's plenty of roost space here in the coop where some of the turkeys sometimes go up at nighttime, but the layer chickens obviously use that area. And for sleeping at nighttime, they are equipped with sufficient nest boxes in here. We did build an extra one for the laying turkey that we have in our flock because we do have a laying turkey, and we have some extra nest box out here, and as you can see, she is still in there going to work laying her egg, and I don't want to bother her. But this mixed flock is doing pretty well together, and given the fact that there's sometimes pecking to maintain order or seniority in the flock. Key pointers for raising your flock: adequate spacing, adequate ventilation, a balanced ratio of nest box per chicken, which I do 5 per nest box if they're layers. And you also want to make sure you have adequate roosting space, a balanced diet, and access to clean, fresh water. If you're interested in raising chickens, or if you have any questions on how my operation goes here, how I raise my chickens, please leave it in the comment section below. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel and you enjoy my content and you want to follow my journey of raising turkeys, meat birds, and layers, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, selecting the all option so that way you would receive alerts on all my newly uploaded videos. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next upload. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video.